Hi,
Micah, Ardris, Meaty, Calvin, Otis. Behold the spellbinding abilities of Rivenwood Academy.
I'm Kira858, and we're here for Rivenwood Academy, Season 2, Episode 25. I hope you're, of course, enjoying this campaign so far. We only have one major announcement, which you'll, of course, be able to see in the description section below, is that one of our campaigns, Gods of Color, has his own dice set release from Die Hard Dice called the Prismatic Pantheon. You could be able to purchase this dice and use the promo code COOKOUT, that is COOKOUT, to get a discount off your purchase. Now, you too can roll like a demigod. And with that, that's all that we have for announcements. We're going to go ahead and transition right to our DM, Aaron. Aaron, take it away.
Man, I'm never ready now.
And you've been asking to make it quick.
I'm never ready now. I know.
Got you covered.
I appreciate your efficiency. Thank you.
No problem.
I'm not ready, but thank you. All right. Last time we had some interesting conversations, some interesting revelations, and we ended up with a little bit of a split party as the majority of the group went in search of knowledge and or purchasing power, stopped by a library, picked up some poetry, and then headed on out into the greater city. And Kellen and Pyrea decided, well, we've got some time to kill. We're going to go do something else. We're going to pick it up first with Kellen. So Kellen, you and Pyrea decided to take a little bit of a walkabout, see what you could see. Did you have any direction in mind, or are you just kind of letting your feet take you where they will?
Well, I offered Pyrea a couple options on potential activities, but if nothing calls to her particularly strongly, I'll just wander around the city.
All right. Give me a vibe. What would pull you in closer, or what would you try to avoid? Like, are you looking for crowds? Are you looking for somewhere quiet? Would you go closer to like fancier places, or would you want to try and find more of the outskirts?
I think more of the trying to stay away from people. But even if there's a crowd, he would definitely get pulled in by you know how our boy is about his theoretical magic. If there's any type of museum on the history, or a interesting shop that's different than the one that we visited already, or any of that type of shit, that's what pulls our boy in. And any arcanotech, similar to the shit that Bim works on, that would definitely get his attention.
Well, I have good news. Theratamiel in general, and Bovovokor in particular, is a hub of arcanotech. So you actually see, as you're strolling the cities, lots of different, there are these moving, what do you call that? They're like miniature carriages that have been reinforced. They're too small for a person to be in, but they travel under their own power on these spindly kind of legs, think like Boston Technology Dog kind of thing. And they appear to courier themselves to the next place. It's ground-based, not flight, but it does move around under its own steam, apparently with its own instructions already kind of magically encoded. You do also see that there are quite a few methods of public transportation that you haven't seen in other places that uses a similar form of arcanotech. It's not particularly fast, but then again, life here often doesn't move at a particularly fast pace. These are elves with long lives, so it's okay sometimes if the scenic route is takes a little bit longer, because what's the rush? Lots and lots of very interesting like light sources that you haven't seen before. A lot of the light that you've seen in other places have either been traditional torches or like magic-based torches. These are more like glowing crystals that emanate. And so like when you look down dark alleys, a lot of times you see a lot of these crystals that are aligned along the edges of buildings to kind of give off a soft light. And you wander for a little bit. Roll me a D8, please.
D8. You got it. What will befall our poor boy? 6.
6. You end up at the junction of two streets. In front of you is this large kind of public park area. It's more like a lawn. It doesn't have like a lot of trees built in, but it does have benches and this kind of thing that you can sit on. And in front of it is this imposing, large, it looks like some sort of museum or art gallery with huge banners on either side. And it's talking about the upcoming Memorial Festival. So that's in front of you. And then off to your side, down a little alleyway, you can see there is this quaint little cafe that looks like it also has a bunch of like knickknacks and books and stuff kind of crammed in very haphazardly. It's got a very like bohemian vibe where everything is just kind of like collected and hoarded and put together in a kind of mismatched way. I think both of those two things would be what kind of catches your eye as you get to this juncture.
Is one of the streets busier than the other one?
For sure, in front of the museum, like that lawn area, there are quite a few people. Like it's like, let's call it 2 p.m. right now. There are quite a few people who are just picnicking or sitting on a bench and reading or taking a little stroll. So there's a lot more people there. And if you look kind of towards the museum, it does appear to have a regular flow of people in and out. It's not like massive, but you know, like you see dozens of people going in and out. Down this little kind of side street alleyway, there's very few people going.
Well, Pyrea, are you more of like a road less traveled or road more traveled kind of girl?
So far I haven't really had a lot of options in terms of which roads I travel, so I'm not sure.
Do you want to flip a coin?
Absolutely.
All right.
But like you don't
flip a coin as determined by my dice.
Okay.
Heads, we go to the museum, aka high. Tails, we go to the cafe, aka low.
Okay.
Yep, that's low. We're going
right
towards the cafe.
As you turn into this little street, like I said, you see 1 or 2 people walking around. It doesn't look like shifty or shady or anything like that. Like it's not like people are avoiding this area. It's just not a lot of people are interested, it seems, right now. So
well, I'm also obviously a very super powerful magic assassin, so I ain't scared of nothing, right?
I'm not sure if that was an in-character conversation or out-of-character conversation, because I could hear Callan saying that in my head.
That was mostly out of character, but I mean, if we want to say it was in character,
no. Yes, your aura precedes you, and no one is looking to mess with you, I guess.
Of course.
You walk a little way down this, and you see it's called Jari's Gifts, but Jari is spelled with a G, and Pyrea immediately take offenses to that. It's like, it should either be Gari's Gifts or Jari's Gifs. Why would it be Jari's Gifts? It's so stupid.
Strike one. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, well, I guess it's silly. Let's go see what's inside. it's got the bead curtain as you walk in. There's some sofas. It's a pretty cozy, small environment. Like there's a little bar area, like where they're making like hot drinks and stuff. Not like alcohol, more like Starbucks, but good. And they've got. Good. And like I said, every available surface is covered with knickknacks and books and just fascinating items, not necessarily from Therantamia.
Ellen gestures towards the bead curtain, and then he leans in and whispers, he's like, strike two?
I don't get it. It's not even a door. It's not a curtain either. How does that make any sense? Well, I hope at least that they have like a good tea or whatever they drink here.
Let's find out.
As you enter in, the smell is delightful. It smells of freshly baked goods and like apple ciders and chai teas. It's got a kind of a spicy mix to it. But it's immediately very cozy and comforting and welcoming. The light in here is pretty dim. Like they have plenty of light sources, but they're kept on low light. And there is I guess to your eyes, older elven woman who is sitting behind the bar.
Okay. Is there anything written that I can remotely read?
You read Elvish?
No.
Nope.
So Kellen's gonna like walk up to it, stare at it a little bit, and then look at this hopefully nice and gentle elderly elven woman, and he's gonna say, I think I'm gonna need a bit of help with this.
She looks at you, and like she has silver hair, which is something you haven't really seen. Like it would indicate she's probably rather old, even though her facial features are still quite smooth. And she's wearing like these deep, like burgundy robes that look very comfortable. They don't look formal or fancy or anything, just really comfortable. And she looks at you and kind of like cocks her head to the side and answers to you in Elvish. Oh my God, Kellen, I don't speak Elvish. Why didn't I think about this?
It's fine. It's gonna be all right. So Kellen is gonna get out a piece of parchment, right, and his like nice little raven quill pen, and he's gonna draw like 3 tea leaves with a question mark, and then point to it.
She looks at it, looks at you. Roll call it sleight of hand. Roll a sleight of hand check.
Are you testing how well I can draw?
I am seeing how well she understands what you're trying to say.
18. I'm a genius.
18. You are a
Ellen
genius.
boy genius.
That is canonically true. You're a double genius even. So you draw your leaves. They're nice looking leaves. And Pyrie's like, hey, I didn't know you could draw. That's pretty cool. The lady looks at it, kind of frowns for a little bit and gestures behind her where there are dozens of jars of like loose leaf tea. And then looks at you for a long time and then haltingly in human says, can I help you? Please?
Yes. So he'll respond in human. He would say, yes, we would like some tea. What do you recommend?
Tea is good. Spice?
He looks at Pyria. You like spicy tea?
I don't know what is being said, Kellen.
Wait, really?
Why would I speak human? Like, no offense, you're great, but we haven't been dating that long.
You're like, never mind. That's not a good thing to say. I'm not going to say that. Poop, poop. Ha, ha, ha. Charisma bonus points successfully clicked in. Nice. So he'll repeat in, I guess I'm going to need to be clear about what language I'm speaking. He will repeat in common. Do you want spice in your tea?
Oh, yes. Like, we're talking spice like cinnamon, right? Not like, I don't know, chili. Because that would be weird. Do people put pepper in tea? I don't know.
Stranger
Honestly,
in strange land.
let's just say yes, right?
No idea. Stranger in a strange land, my dear. Yeah, okay. So he'll switch back to human and he'll say, yes, a spice like cinnamon would be good.
She doesn't appear to fully understand what you've said, but kind of just like does the polite nod and then is like, milk?
Switching back to common, do you want milk?
Sure, I guess.
Do you take your tea with milk or not?
I mean, can you just tell her to make me like whatever is her favorite drink, and then I'll just drink whatever it is?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they hate that. Okay, yeah, sure. All right. So he will switch back to human, and he'll say, your favorite, please, too.
Hot.
Hot.
Okay. I am happy to help you, please. And gestures towards the sofa.
Okay. Yeah. Kellen will lead Perry over there and sit down.
I feel so incredibly awkward right now. Like, I can't read anything. I can't speak to anybody. I don't know, like, is it actually a cafe or do we just wander into somebody's house and she's just being super polite and offering to poison us, like, face to face?
If this is her... Okay, so two things. One, if she was trying to poison us, I'll definitely know. Okay? Because, come on. Two, definitely, if this isn't a cafe, she super has a lot of tea. So.
That's true. No normal person would have this much tea, right?
No normal person, but I have known some people that might potentially keep this much tea, you know?
Yeah,
like Argis, honestly, for example.
Now that I say it out loud, I feel like it's a big judgment call to make, right? Like, we'll walk that one back a little bit. Hope she didn't understand me.
Well, there's really two options. Either one, she doesn't understand us, or two, she pretended not to understand us so that she could listen into the rest of our conversation. And in that case, honestly, she's really smart and I can't even be mad. Like, that's just like well played, you know?
Sure. I mean, do you think that everyone is listening into your like tea house conversations like all the time?
Well, no, but if I was trying to kill me, that's what I would do, you know?
I've lost track of which number we're on, but I'm going to skip to that one. Do you think anyone is trying to kill you right now?
He like looks to the left, looks to the right, puts his voice down real low, and he goes, "We can't talk about this here."
Kellen.
No,
She's just got like her hand to her forehead and is just like rubbing in between her eyes.
No, I'm totally joking. I don't think so. Not currently.
Okay. All right, cool. Cool. So this is like normal date night, not escape from like would-be assassins date night. I just like, I need to make sure I'm wearing the right footwear, you understand?
Yeah, no, I completely get it. No, yeah, it's regular date night. The only person who's going to be trying to kill us is, like, honestly, Ardris, if we make him look bad. So I think we're going to be all right.
Like, she's been really subdued, like, since your whole conversation, but, like, when you're like, oh, Ardris might kill us, you see, like, this flash of, like, mischief on her face for a little bit. And she's like, yeah, it'd be super terrible if we accidentally did something that could possibly inconvenience him. That would be bad, right?
Yeah, so here's the problem. I have like mega mixed feelings about this, right? Because like on the one hand, I completely understand like he's pretty fun to mess with. And on the other hand, and then he like lowers his voice again and he's like, on the other hand, older me really trusts him, which makes me kind of want to go a little bit easier on him, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Do you think like y'all, like older Kellen was friends with older Ardris?
Yeah, I think so.
That's gotta be weird, right? Because like when he looks at the rest of us, we probably look like kids compared to the people that he knows. But Ardris probably didn't change all that much, right? Like,
probably not.
I
guess I've never really thought about it though. Huh.
Does everybody say anything about like what I do in the future?
Yeah, a little bit.
Go ahead and roll me that deception check real quick.
Is that a lie? Someone has mentioned a little bit about what. That's fine. I'll roll. But you forgot. You're dealing with Boy Genius Assassin. You forgot.
What was that?
20.
Just a second. You don't think I have a full character sheet and I've already rolled and just need to see what the
You are cutting out a little bit, just so you know.
Yeah, it sounds like your voice was a bit robotic. Maybe internet issues.
Oh no. All right. I won't mess with that. Okay, I'm gonna say that you narrowly beat her. So she's like, oh. I mean, doesn't exactly bode well for the future if he's just like not saying a lot.
Well, you gotta remember that, things change when things change. And, as it turns out, he wasn't supposed to be here, which changed a lot. And with that being the case, we can't really rely on that as an accurate picture of, what's going to happen.
Wait, bud? What do you, wait, hold on. What do you mean things change? Are you trying to tell me that something's changing, like, right now?
Well, no. I mean, well, yes, but that's a really complicated question, Pyria. I mean, everything's changing around us all the time. Like, basically, life is a probability equation, and every time somebody does something, it changes the probabilities. It's like...
It's okay, really but, deep. Like, nothing's changing between, like, you and me right this second.
Well, we're about to get some tea, but other than that, no.
All right. Cool, because for half a second, I thought that you were going to, like...
Wait.
There's, I don't know.
Like I just brought you into some old lady's house to break up with you or something? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, maybe, I don't know. You kind of got like a whole apocalypse going on. Maybe you got other things and then you're just like, hey, people change.
Well, there are like definitely other things, but I also want to be happy, you know? Like,
Yeah?
I mean, preferably, right? Like,
I mean, I would prefer it. Would you?
of course. He's like awkwardly flipping the coin that they use to decide where to go, like up and down in his hand now.
All right. Just, I mean, you have a habit of putting yourself in pretty messed up situations. And I'm just, not sometimes really certain that, like, you plan to be happy.
I like to think of it more like the governing probability equation hates me. And not like it's my fault, but I mean, you're probably right. It's probably my fault.
Babe, I'm going to be super honest. No idea what that means.
The governing probability equation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly certain we're still speaking in the same language. It might be human. I don't even know. What is that?
Good.
About this point, the woman comes over with 3 cups of tea and like sets them on the little table that's in front of you.
And she says something in common about the governing probability equation. Please tell me she says something about the governing probability equation.
She points at the tea, points at you too, and gives you like a little thumbs up, and then points to the 3rd cup and looks confused, and then just gives you another thumbs up, and sets a little plate of like spiced banana bread on the table as well.
So he'll ask in human, how much money? Things Aaron did not think about.
I didn't think about the price of tea at all, actually. So I'm going to call it 4.
Wait, she just says 4 without any.
She just says 4. She says 4 and then something after it, but she doesn't know the word for any human, so she switches to Elvish. So she's like 4 drachma, and you're like, I don't know.
Is there like any shot that I at least have heard or just talk about currency in Elvish before, and I can kind of try to figure this out?
You know what?
When he was dealing with the shopkeepers and stuff.
Sure, a lot of that was in common, but you and Argis have been hanging around for a while. I'll say with keen mind, roll history with advantage, and we'll just see if you know it.
Or OK has heard of Argis talk about it before, and he's like, listen, kid, just in case you ever need to know the Elvish.
He pulled you aside right before he dipped and was like, hey, I just have one word for you, and it's this one.
So what was I rolling?
History, I guess. I don't know. It's a silly roll, but I'm curious to see if you've picked any of it up.
10? I don't...
Did you roll with advantage?
Oh, I got advantage?
Yeah, because a keen mind, I'd say that it would help you to sift through those.
That's fair. Well, the other roll is a 5, so 10.
10. You feel like you've heard this word before in the context of currency. Not a clue which one it is. It's something to do with money for sure. You know that. Hey, Cal, what's up? Because you're just kind of staring at her, and I don't know what's going on.
Let me think for a second, okay? And he'll pull out 12 gold coins, count out 12 gold coins, and offer them to her.
The woman looks at the gold and looks at you and looks at the gold and takes 1. Thank you.
He's holding it out, and she takes 1, and he just goes, House Ilarin thanks you, and bows his head.
like still holding the other 11 or just like letting her take the one?
Yep, still offering it to her.
She cracks like a big smile and is like kind of starts to laugh and just waves you off and disappears behind the counter.
Interesting.
Did you just try to pay 12 gold for 3 cups of coffee? Wait, why are there 3 cups of tea? Is somebody else coming?
I'm not sure. I guess just leave the gold and say pay for the next people. But then I don't really know how to explain that in Elvish. So I'm getting a little bit lost. I'll figure something out. But the bread looks good, though.
You gotta check it for poison first, or can I be the royal taste tester of the banana bread?
Well, I don't know. Are you immune to poison?
She immediately like grabs the largest piece and stuffs most of it in her mouth.
Well...
Oh my god, it's really good. Oh. She starts to go for the second piece. It's so good.
How many pieces are there?
There are 2.
Oh. Ellen just like chuckles and he's like, well, if it were poisoned, we will know soon.
No. Sorry, let me swallow. That was so rude, but it was very, very good. Eat the other piece, it's fine. And she gives it back to you.
Okay, and he takes the piece and surreptitiously sniffs it. Like, oh, I'm just trying to waft in the scent of it, but actually I'm smelling for poison.
Yeah. It's different spices than what you would expect from banana bread, but it smells like good, just slightly to the left of what you would expect.
Right, but do I smell like, cave rat poison or like any, type of stuff I might be concerned about?
Can you sniff poisons out?
I mean, some of them.
No. I guess.
Fair enough. He will break off like a small piece of it and then eat the small piece and then hand the rest to Pyria.
Does Callum like banana bread? Like, generally speaking?
Yeah, I'd say generally speaking, for sure.
This is maybe the best one you've ever had. It's real good.
Oh. Well, yeah, he still gives it to Pyria. He's selfish enough in general that he doesn't need to be selfish with banana bread,
I mean, it feels like a bribe, but like if brownie points equals banana bread, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I just gotta win some sort of bribe, you know what I mean? Like...
Do I know what you mean? I guess.
Well, they hate money here, and that confuses me. I'm just lost,
Yeah. I mean, this place is nice, I guess. She takes like a very tentative sip of the tea.
Is there anyone else in here with us?
No, it is just the 2 of you right now. And the shopkeeper.
Alleged shopkeeper.
Alleged cafe owner / barista.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, so the tea, I'm going to take a sip too. Does it taste good?
It is good. It's a different type of spice. It's got just a tiny bit of milk in it, like not as much as like maybe you would normally take. I don't know if you take milk in your tea. But it's not like a chai. It's more like a spiced tea that has a splash of milk. It's good. It's quite warming though. So like makes you feel a little bit warm, I guess.
That's good. I'm with that. I think it's pretty good. What do you think, Pyria? It's like pretty unique.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
What I've experienced.
I don't, I mean, I've never been a huge tea person, but I mean, if I can get behind this, I think it's, yeah. Wait, what is that? And Pyrie's looking over on the shelf, and there appears to be like a bleached or painted small animal skull.
Do I know what that is?
I mean, it looks like an animal skull. You gonna go over to it?
I mean, girlfriends requesting what dad. Yeah, probably.
As you go, she's like, no, I was just asking, but you're already walking over. And as you look at it, it doesn't appear to actually be a skull. It looks like it's been carved out of wood, like really painstakingly. And looks like a miniature kind of mask. Like it wouldn't really fit an adult, but it's got an interesting kind of like these little whorls of wood that have been carved into it to kind of imitate bone that has been cracked a little bit. And as you get over there, you start, yeah?
Would it fit onto the face of a small, elderly, elvish woman?
Conceivably. You kind of eye her face and eye the skull. Maybe.
Good to know.
As you're looking at like kind of the surrounding parts of the shelf, you can see there's a lot of like kind of general mysticism kind of items. There's like a little crystal orb. There's like some cards that look like they could maybe be tarot or something. Like it's got a definite vibe here. And over a little bit further, there's some books. Do you want them?
Helen will gesture at them and then say, "Inhuman, can I?"
You can what?
That's what the woman says?
Yeah.
Can I look? He points to the books.
Yeah. Some take some bring.
Is there like a human word for like cool or awesome?
Absolutely,
like,
there is.
Okay, he uses that word, and then he'll take one of the books and start reading it.
She just like repeats it back to you. It's like cool, awesome,
awesome,
wicked. Yeah. So there's a couple different books here. I assume you skip the ones that are in Elvish because you don't read it. What other languages do you read?
So Kellen can speak Celestial, Common, Deep Speech, Human, and Thieves can't. So
okay. You see, there are a couple that are written in Common and appear to be. One of them is like just a traveler's journal, and one is like a top 50 places to see in Voltaire, like guidebook.
After looking over those two books, he will like glance at Pyrea with the old like, you know, the casual like, "Are you done with my BS yet or not?" So, since he's just walked off and like inspected something and then never came back to report about it and just instead started browsing books. Like, is she annoyed?
While you're looking at the books over there, she's ended up standing up and going to the end of the sofa, and there's another small little shelf with a bunch of knickknacks. They look more like little like puzzles, like the simple kinds that are like bent nails that you have to get apart, or small, you know, 6-sided cube that you can rotate different faces on, that kind of thing. And she's kind of interestedly poking at them, trying to figure out if she could figure out how to open any of them.
Okay. He will. So it's a guidebook to Voltaire. Are there any writings that are in like Celestial or like is there like a Common to Elvish dictionary or anything like that?
Let me roll for it. What do you know? You go back behind a bunch of the Elvis ones that you don't understand, and there's a very tiny little handwritten phrase book. And in common it says, "The right words for the right time, a simple primer for Elvish for travelers."
So he would want to keep that book. So he will take that book and he will leave his book that is granted to him by background, which is like, it's like a sus, like, it's like a sus assassin textbook, basically, but it's not like this is for assassins. It's just like dangerous plants and fauna of the world, like a very like, oh, this could be like a traveler's guide, or it could be used by people that are like trying to make poison or.
Love it. I assume it's written in human?
Yeah.
Cool. So you get your book. As you turn around, you can see Pyrea has grabbed one of the little like puzzles and is sitting on the sofa, like with her tongue sticking out, trying to get it to come apart. And we're going to pause Kellen and Pyrea right there and jump to the main group. I say the main group, the other group, the larger group. You guys have exited the Hall of Mages. The city is yours. What direction are you headed?
Anything else you all needed to get?
Well,
Go ahead.
but I was gonna go look for stationery and maybe another book that I could take with me. I don't really want to take the library books out of the city. I feel like that could get us into some trouble.
That would be wise. I know where you can get some paper and things like that. Was there anything else for anyone else?
Otis cold turkey just turns into hybrid form and flies to like the nearest large tree.
I mean, it's a little bit unsettling, right? Because hybrid isn't owl, and if you were in owl form, you'd still be real large. So, like, this human-sized part owl person just flies up to a tree. You get a lot of stares. People who were generally kind of, like, respectfully not paying attention to your group, they track your flight, and they're just kind of, like, looking at you like,
Otis pulls out his book and starts reading it.
You see like one of the realm knights starts to look forward and then catches that Argus was there and is like, and then slowly resheathes his sword and kind of like takes a couple steps back.
We weren't supposed to be causing trouble. Anyway, what about the rest of you, Michael? What you like to do?
I need spell component.
I can arrange for that as well. All right, well, come. I know of a good place for both of the things you need. And hopefully Otis will be all right. And I just will lead them to the place to buy stationery. Basically, no, I can't say that. There might be copy reading. Basically, a nondescript store where you...
Oh, no.
Oh.
Not really.
Well, that's the first. Yeah, that's the first I've ever seen the internet go out.
That House of Lauren internet plan failed.
House of Lauren internet plan.
You gotta re-enchant those Arcanotech crystals that run the Wi-Fi, man. Have you tried turning them off and on again?
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Okay.
As you guys get ready to leave, Miri would be like, "Oh, I don't know about leaving Otis all by himself. That doesn't seem really cool." And she's gonna sit down next to the tree that Otis is in and stay with him.
Oh, okay. If that were the case, Otis would come down to her Because I was because Otis would have like taken flight and been on like somewhere in the top branch that could support his weight. But seeing Miri there, he would come down to her.
Nice. So as you get down, she's like, you can't leave anyone by themselves or anything.
Well, I just figured you was going to do what you want.
Maybe I want to be here.
Okay.
I'll leave Mary to roleplay the rest of that. We'll leave them there. We're going to follow the rest of the group.
Perfect.
So you guys kind of wander around. You don't go to the same area of the merchant district as you went last time, because that was pretty upscale. There are like stationery shops closer to the city center that you would be much quicker walk to get to. So I imagine that's where you're headed, unless you tell me otherwise.
Fine.
Cool. So you walk into a stationery shop. It's called Scrolls. And there is a very diminutive looking, it looks like a teenage elf, like not a teenager, probably about Argis's age, but like y'all would identify her as approximately the age range of the group. And she looks bored, so bored. She's sitting behind, there's like a small, it's not a counter, it's like a podium. She's sitting behind the podium, there's like a little chair there, and she's got a book out, and she's just kind of idly flipping through it, not actually reading anything.
Oh?
Oh, hey. Welcome to Scrolls. A shop for all of your stationery and other goods needed. If I can help you, just tell me.
Oh, my companions here should be able to locate what it is that they need on their own.
Yvain's already wandered off to go look at notebooks and trying to find like another like bottle of ink.
Don't take the umbrella. And then she just goes back to her book.
This isn't the same place that has the spell components, right? This is a different place?
Nope.
Okay.
Different place.
Umbrella? What on earth does that mean? Just like going to like...
Yeah, so this building is very narrow but deep. So like it's kind of cramped, but you have to just keep going further back and back and back instead of kind of out and around. And you do spy as you go back to get the stationery that in the far corner, there's a small little like umbrella stand, and there is an umbrella in it.
Oh, that makes sense. She just like gives the umbrella a wide berth because she's just like, I don't know if it's magical. I don't know if they're like someone's gonna come and like if it's trouble, but just leave it be.
What are you looking for in particular?
Just like little notebooks. Something she can
easily found.
In
fact, they specialize in notebooks here that have hand-painted covers.
Oh,
with
no.
a variety of different, some of them are landscapes, some of them are like geometric designs, some of them have some particular relevance to different clubs or groups or societies or religions, but there's a wide variety in every color you can think of.
She's definitely picking up a couple of landscapes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe like if she can find one with like maybe something close to what her deity is, she'll pick it up and be like, maybe this will please them.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, you do find a landscape that reminds you of your deity. It's got like these long fields of wheat, and off in the distance you can see a lone figure with a scythe, like reaping wheat in the distance with the sunset in the background. Very, very pretty artwork. There's one that you get, there are these giant sculpted heads that appear to be from somewhere you've never been, but it looks like maybe it's an actual landscape. And so there are these large block stone heads. That looks pretty nice. There's some with like elephants or lemurs or tigers. You can Lisa Frank it up if you want something psychedelic.
I think she'll take the one with the wheat field, the one with like the landscape, and then probably one with just like generic flowers on it.
Nice. Easily done.
And then he's just like finding like another ink bottle and going back up to the front.
Satisfied?
Oh yes, this shop is very wonderful. Look how cute this is. And she's like showing the notebook.
Right next to the counter, you see there's a bunch of like calligraphy sets and postcards.
Could I also get one of these? And she'll take one of the calligraphy sets.
What does you like, or well, can reasonably carry, I suppose?
Oh, my bag's got enough space. I don't actually carry that much on me.
Would you please?
Cool. You know, I said there's calligraphy sets. I didn't think to like look up what percent costs. So give me just a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
How much could it be? $10.
I guess anything you want from here.
No. What is cute?
Oh, she'll take like the notebook and like show the flowers on the front of it. Just like, see, look, this actually kind of reminds me of this little this little area near where I'm from. It's I used to go up there and read a lot.
So cute is memories.
Well, cute is you know how when you see something and it kind of gives you like warm and fuzzy feelings, like cats. Cats are cute. You know, sometimes you can find people cute.
Oh,
It's really like a descriptor.
I will have to think on this. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Ardris, was there anything you needed here?
No, I am fine. There was nothing more that I needed. Oh, it's not from here anyway.
I'm gonna say that all total, you're running about 20 gold right now.
She'll pull it out of her bag and hand it over.
Okay.
Does this elf person still look bored?
Incredibly. Like as Yvain comes up with all of her stuff, she's like, "Thank you for your purchase. That would be 20 gold."
Does she recognize who I am yet?
Nope, not at all. Please come again to scrolls if you have any further need.
Thank you a lot.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thanks. You too. We wish all of our patrons the best of days in the time to come.
Is this
All right,
normal?
let's leave.
You know, sometimes, yes.
Very well. When I talk to others, should I speak like that?
Oh,
No.
no.
That's generally rude to do. You want people to believe that you are invested in who they are and what they want to do. So you should at least sound happy to speak to them, even if you aren't. That is just polite, really.
Polite. Thank you.
Right, well, if there was nothing else, you could go and find some spell components. Do you know what you need?
Yes, I do. I need a item to cast a dragon.
Do I have any idea what he's talking about? What they're talking about?
You know that dragons exist. You know that you can summon things. You can sort of A plus B that one, but like you've never seen anyone do it.
Why do you wish to summon a dragon, if I might ask?
It will keep everyone safe, and I feel this body is taking on aspects of it. And they kind of like touched the side of their face where they had the burn marks there. And there's like, they can kind of feel like a very minute sheen of golden scales that's there.
That's very sound logical, right? Ardris, do you know where the component shop is that Micah might be able to get these things?
That may be a bit more difficult, but I'm sure I know of a place that could arrange for that. At least if not available, could commission such an object. Come with me.
Thank you.
I will lead them.
Ree, I will
Nice.
give you double inspiration right now if you can tell me the name of that place.
I'm afraid anything I come up with might be complicated. Honestly, I'll say Tazar's Bazaar of Goods. It is a very, like, I guess, Arabian-inspired place that is
Ooh.
borderline, like, it's on the line of, like, illegal, but the nobles can get away with buying stuff from there, and other people, you know, they're like, don't get caught, don't get caught.
Love it. So last time you were at the fancy place, they tried to push you towards like a gifts and gags shop, but you're like, no, I got the real hookup.
It's delightful.
Just know that you have double inspiration now. So you head there. It's kind of a twisty turny. It's not exactly in the bad part of town. It's just like one street over from where everyone else is. You know what I mean? Like you get there, not too bad amount of time. And as you arrive, the place is empty, which you know to expect. This is very much a they see you, but you don't interact unless you gotta kind of place.
Just stay close. This is a very interesting place to be. I will go about getting introduced to the owner again.
So there is the main room, which appears again to be unguarded, has shelves full of incredibly interesting items.
Oh, don't touch anything, by the way. Technically, most of the stuff is forbidden and or dangerous.
Forbidden.
You just see Yvain just stick her hands in the pockets of her apron.
This is sorry. This is the most boring group that could have been in the forbidden shop. You're all a bunch of do-gooders.
Yep. The aptitude of, all about chaos and neutrality. Like, is this normal?
It is normal for me. Most people would not come here. Most of these goods are either experimental, forbidden to have by the layperson, or both. But it can be quite good when you need things that are technically not normal or orthodox. I believe if you're looking for spell components for a unique spell such as the one you seem to be searching for, this would be the best place to find it.
You know that if you want to talk to the actual owner, you have to come with a gift. But you don't have to talk to the owner in order to do your shopping. There is an understood amount that everything's worth. And if you're rich enough to be here, you're rich enough to know kind of feeling. And no one makes it out the door without paying the right amount.
We will search. First of all, we will look around and see if there is anything meeting the requirements for said spell.
So what exactly is it that you need?
It's an image of with object with the image of a dragon engraved on it.
Does it say what it has to be made out of, or can it be made out of anything?
Nope, it doesn't actually have any type of a requirement for that part. Yeah,
very nice.
Worth it,
but it has to be worth.
Does it have a worth price?
Yeah, it has to be worth at least 500 gold.
You take a little bit of time to kind of go through all of the options or all of the shelves, and you see there's quite a few number of amulets and weapons and potions and scrolls. As you go through, the items get a little bit more bizarre and a little more strange. And you thought it started off a little bit bizarre, a little bit strange. But you keep wandering through, and you get a few shelves deep when you see it. On the top shelf, which is pretty tall, too tall for even Ardris to reach up and grab it, there is a carved figurine out of jade. There's a dragon with its mouth open facing forward.
C looks towards Yvain and then points towards the jade dragon and says, "Cute."
Yeah, that is very cute. Would this one work?
Yes, this should do.
And she looks towards Ardris because she was specifically told not to touch anything. Just like, how does this work?
How do we get this?
Dungeon Master.
Ardris,
You've
you've been here before. You know how this works.
I will use a mage hand to very carefully.
Uh-oh.
Not again.
He froze again. Uh-oh.
Oh no! Wait, can you hear me now?
No, yeah, I would carry you.
Goodness, my connection's unstable. I will use mage hand to remove the statue, and instead I will be purchasing this under House Alan, of course. We'll make it. His intent will be. He'll express his intent to purchase.
Yeah. So as you cast Mage Hand, it's interesting because normally Mage Hand is flavored kind of your magical signature, right? But as you cast it, you and the Mage Hand both glow this deep emerald green. So like anyone who was watching you would instantly know what was cast and who cast it. And as you pick it up, no one seems to stop you. You say it, and you know that next to the door on your way out, there is like a place where you put the payment.
All right, well, we will take care of this as we depart. Was there anything else that you all wish to look into?
I do not.
All right, well, then we shall.
Are you sure? There's wands and staffs and staves and circlets and bracelets.
Ooh.
It's the devil tempting me.
I know. It's just like, oh.
That's bad to choo-choo.
I know. Devil's advocate. Devil's advocate.
Devil.
I can't. I already do it the Draconic experience. So that's already a lot at it by itself. But
I would look at the staffs. I want to look at the staffs. Oh no. I'm curious.
Ooh, staffs, you say? Give me just a little bit.
This is how we all die.
Talk to me about. Are you looking for anything in particular? Or are you just browsing the staffs?
I'm browsing.
You're browsing the staffs.
Browsing the staffs.
You see quite a number of staffs. They are kind of like in a cabinet where each of them is like held in place, but the cabinet's open. You can open it and take one of them out pretty easily. But they have quite a wide variety. Some of them seem to be carved in the shape of like flames rising from the bottom all the way to the top. One of them looks like a serpent that's been curled around up to the top with a head that sticks out with two fangs. One of them catches your eye, and it looks strange. It looks unlike anything you've seen before.
Do I have identify? I think I have identify. Can I, do I have it? I do have identify. Do I know if it would be against the rules to identify a magic item in this place?
There is a certain amount of goodwill extended to those who are actually interested.
All right, then I will do that. I would like to know what this is.
As you identify it, you realize why it caught your attention, because this magic matches the kind of magic you've seen Kellen cast. This is a staff of Dunamancy.
Which is the staff of Dunamancy.
It's expensive.
Maybe yes.
But you don't necessarily know how expensive, like, because, I mean, it's really rare magics, right? So.
Is it expensive to me? Like, in my.
That depends. What's expensive to you?
Of reality.
What's expensive to you?
I'm a noble. I'm a noble. Is this still? I feel like this is over 2,000. If it is over 2,000. 1,000 golds.
I mean, it doesn't have a price tag. If you think that it is worth 2,000, you can leave 2,000 and see if they'll let you walk out with it.
No. You don't have enough. You don't even have 2,000 gold.
You do think that your name has some trade?
We got 550. That's what we got. I don't think I can get this staff for 550. Unless we go get, unless my name has that much gold weight behind. I think so. I think that might be pushing it. Yeah, I think that we'll come back. We'll come back for it.
I am incredibly amused by the idea of you having like a massive sword across your back and also a staff. Like, that does amuse me greatly. Not sure how much of a discount that amusement amounts to, but as some amount, I think.
We'll come back. We got a lot of magic items. We good. Kellen is good for right now. We good. We comfortable. I'll leave this. We'll come back. We'll come back next time. We'll come back at like level 14. Then we'll buy this. This feels like a level 14 item. But yeah, so we'll leave. We'll leave.
Okay. There are a number of other staffs, but you kind of set that one back in its case, close it, and make your way to the front. Again, there's like this little podium, and you know that you can place the money on top of the podium, and it is transported where it needs to go.
I'll leave 500 gold. All right. I have taken care of everything else. Is there anything you want to do for, more pleasant things? There are quite a few things to do and to see. There are some very nice food around as well.
Which would be nice, if we could stop on the way home. I know we have that meeting to attend to.
I am learning, so whatever is good for you, I will join.
Well, come. I know of a place I used to go when I was closer to your ages. I had pastries with ice cream inside of them. Quite enjoyable. And our just would lead them to a stand of a person selling. What is the pastry thing called? Where it's not an ice cream cone, but it's like really thin pancakes with ice cream inside.
It crepes.
Yes.
Waffle cone. Oh,
no, it's not the same.
Yeah, you're talking my language right now. It is the same person that you used to see there. The same person is running this stand.
Wow. Decades.
And they recognize you. And there's a big smile on their face as you pop up. And they're like, oh, hey! Larn, is it? Long time no see.
Yes, but it's been far too long. I'm glad to see you all still here.
You haven't changed your mind about your favorite flavor, have you? And they're already
Not
getting stuff ready.
Not at all. And what about you two?
We've got chocolate, we've got strawberry, we've got blueberry, we've got raspberry, we've got pandan, and we've got honeysuckle.
What is most popular?
Well, kind of depends on the day, really. The berries are nice. Got them in fresh yesterday.
They look towards Ardris and Yvain and say, if I eat this, will I fit in?
That is much more of a philosophical question. But you'll be doing what other people do.
You will at least be able to enjoy it, maybe. I don't know. Could I have the berry one, please?
Absolutely. Hey, short stuff. You want a little bit of each?
Short stuff.
That's you.
Oh. Yes, please.
Can do. And they quickly wrap up 3 crepes with Ardris. What's your favorite flavor? It doesn't have to be on the menu. They keep it for you, whatever it is. All right. You get your honeysuckle crepe. Yvain gets the berries, and Micah gets a crepe that has a little bit of each one wrapped up together so that you can try each one.
Good work as always. Argus will pay whatever the actual price is, but double.
They know you're going to do this, and the second they see you start to go for money, they're like, no. Last time, and I remember this, it's been a while. Last time, I know you paid double. We're square.
Oh no. Did I freeze again?
For a second, but you're back.
You were shocked into silence.
Yeah, pretty much. That was actually great in character.
I don't know what you mean.
Okay, you don't know what I mean. I don't know what you mean. We both know
Is,
neither of us is going to win this one. If you could just let me have one this century, that would be great.
of course. I mean, if you are sure, and I would like to, while they're focused on me, I like to use Mage Hand to just like drop them in my hand.
You absolutely do. You 1,000% do. And you get the opinion that like you didn't actually like slip it by them per se, but like they're doing the thing where it's like, yeah, okay, you win this one. Like they're gonna find a way to make sure you get your favorite ice cream on your birthday or something. Like it's just a continual, forever game of trying to get the other person to either not pay or pay.
100%. All right. Well, as for you two, I believe you could begin to head back now, unless there's something else you all wish to see.
Go ahead.
What would you recommend we see? You know the city very well.
There are many things to see. There are the Wyvern Knights doing their training soon. That is always enjoyable. There are the spellcasting duels. The Beastmasters are working with their creatures. The greenhouse is always enjoyable to see which exotic plants they've gained access to. Could spend a lifetime exploring this place, or well, I suppose like a human lifetime exploring this place.
I do not age.
Well, what about the greenhouse? That could be a nice place to walk around in and while we enjoy our treats.
Oh, come, let's go and see the greenhouse then.
Yeah, the greenhouse is an annex behind that large museum that you saw earlier. So you kind of walk past the lawn, or you guys didn't see it, but Kellen probably did. You walk past that large lawn, you see all the people who are walking past, and when you get to the greenhouse and you step in, you get that massive wave of humidity and heat. And it is a tropical paradise in here. There's a small, like, stone pathway that just weaves through a massive, beautiful, verdant, like paradise here in the middle of the city. The path itself is very windy, so even though the greenhouse isn't massive, it can take you quite a bit to go through, and there are little benches every so often that you could stop and relax. There's a little water feature running through the middle with like a little flowing created river, basically. Some koi fish.
Here we are. Each of these plants are very interesting to see. Here on this first area, they're mostly safe, though you should be careful touching them. Some of them can have sharp thorns. But further that we go, the more dangerous they can be.
Very beautiful here. We'll have to all come back as a group. I think Otis would really like this place.
I believe you are correct. I think they'd appreciate some of the more interesting plants on the bottom. I admit the herbology was never my strong suit, so I don't know too much about them, but perhaps I could learn something important.
You know, plants have a lot of abilities, you know, for medicine and such. I wasn't very good at it, but I wouldn't mind learning myself.
You are more than welcome.
You can talk to plants.
Oh no, I cannot.
Oh, it is, Ken.
Perhaps they can learn something more important here than I understood before.
This is cute.
Oh, this is very cute.
Some of them, yes.
You start to hear some soft strings, like a violin that's being played a distance away.
performance is common here.
Well, not performances necessarily, but there are people who enjoy the serenity of this place, and some people like to use music with the plants, I believe.
Well, I'm kind of curious. It sounds rather beautiful.
Well, let's go and see. So, we go see.
All right, you follow the stonework path a while, and it takes you a pretty long while. It's hard to tell exactly where the sound is coming from as you're moving, but about the time that you're finishing up your ice cream, because it's melting pretty fast in here, you see that there's a small alcove just off the path, and there is this young woman who is standing there with her eyes closed, playing the violin. And she's just, her whole body is into this music. And it's a very beautiful, very soothing kind of piece. You don't see like any magical effects coming off of it, but she does seem to be very, very deep into playing, and just kind of enjoying being able to play here.
Keep your voices down. I do not want to disturb her, but she is quite talented.
I feel like Yvain will just like find a spot to just sit and listen.
Yeah, Micah will do the same, trying to understand what's being done here, but they're struggling. They're running into a lot of. You can see like their head constantly jerking in really odd motions and directions as they're trying to grasp what's happening here. But yeah, they're just trying to exert. This is definitely one of the most difficult parts.
After about 10 minutes of playing, like the section of music that she's finished comes to a close. She finishes the piece, and as the music slowly dies away, she kind of opens her eyes and realizes for the first time that the three of you are even here. And it's like, oh, hi. Hope I didn't disturb you with my music.
Not at all. You're very talented.
I appreciate it, Erlarn. Like she realizes who you are in that moment.
Of course, my companions were just looking to enjoy their day in the city, and your music has been a very fine addition to our day.
Oh, thank you. Do any of you play?
No, I don't. I knew somebody who did once, but I have no musical talents.
I do not understand.
Which part do you not understand? Like how the music is made? I could show you.
Show me.
Sure.
C kind of like looks around, their head jerking. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't. Oh, uh-oh. Confused. No, I'm okay.
Oh, okay. I mean, I just appreciate you listening to me. But it's okay to be confused, I guess. Maybe you do other things?
I do not, but Micah does.
She turns and looks at Yvain. Is like, oh, what do you do?
I am. And she just like gestures to her uniform. Well, I am I'm a cleric. But I am going to school now. It's going to be very exciting.
Oh, that's great.
Do you study for your music?
Yeah, I take classes at the local music school, but it's not easy to progress. So I've been practicing really hard lately.
Well, I would say all of your hard work has paid off. You play beautifully.
If you could tell my tutor that would be great.
Well, I'd be more than happy to tell your tutor that. You really do have a talent for it.
Cool. Sorry, Mike, I didn't tell you my name. And she holds out her hand towards you, Yvain, and says, I'm Stelly.
I'm Yvain. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, I apologize. I thought you were Micah.
Sorry. This... And she will gesture to Micah.
It is a more difficult situation, but it is of no immediate importance. Are you having any difficulties with your studies at the moment?
You see, like, she's kind of weighing her words really carefully, specifically because you asked. And she's not exactly sure what you're trying to get at. And she's like, well, of course, it's difficult when so many other great performers have had centuries longer to perfect their craft. But I think it's going okay. It will take more time.
That is true. It can be difficult to match experience, but I find that experience, as useful as it is, can never make up for true passion in what you do. So you just need to I would recommend you find the song or the step that speaks to you the most, and that is where you will find your greatest success.
She kind of smiles and takes all three of you, and she's like, that's pretty good advice. Sometimes I worry I'll get so into the doing that I'll kind of lose the why, if that makes sense. Like sometimes you try so hard to make it good that you lose the fun or the call. I don't know.
Yes, it is. I would recommend you focus on why and regain or hold on to that spark of creativity. And once you're ready, I would more than welcome you to put on a performance for my mother and father. I believe they would be quite interested.
She looks like, unlike a lot of other people, she hasn't been like instantly deferential to you. Like she's called you Erlaren, but she hasn't been like, oh my God, I'm talking to Erlaren. But when you're like, you could come perform for my house, there's a little bit of surprise that's just like, oh, that's okay. It might take me a couple more decades to get to that kind of level, but
perhaps maybe sooner than you think.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Of course. Please.
What is your passion?
That is a complicated question, but it is it is my responsibility to ensure that the safety is for all people for at least as long as I can call myself an elf, I suppose.
Is that the same thing as passion? Is duty the same?
That is much more philosophical, I suppose, but don't entirely know.
Like, what do you do when everyone is safe?
We will have to find out once that happens, I suppose.
I mean, things are pretty safe right now. What do you do for fun?
Yeah, for the next bad thing, really.
That sounds like it would be tiring and not like much of a calling.
Perhaps it can be difficult, but then I get to see what people like you are able to do because you're safe and you are able to bring about such beautiful arts or homes or families, and well, it's enough for me. It is enough.
Well, I guess thank you for doing everything you do so that I can do this.
And if your tutor ever has a problem with your abilities, let them know that I find you to be more than adequate.
Okay, I'll just name drop Era Lauren at my next repertoire, huh?
Yeah, I will give you permission to do so if you need to. But for now, I believe, just continue what you're doing and you'll be all right.
She turns and looks at the person who has now been identified to her as Micah. It's like, so what about you?
Passion? I do not possess. Passion is for others. I restore balance.
Is that like an architecture kind of thing? Like, do you do like, I don't know, planning?
No. When chaos tries to take over, I try to restore order so everything is safe.
Just out of curiosity, and like, it's okay if you don't want to answer, but is music order or chaos?
I do not know. I cannot understand.
I guess it would kind of be a balance of both, right? Because there's like the ordered notes and the time and the, like there's a lot of like almost math that goes into it, but then you have to play it. You can't just play the math. You got to put the soul into it.
So,
I don't like it's more than just notes on a page. Or like, I guess if somebody was like good at drawing, I'm not, but somebody's got to be. You've got lines. Those are pretty orderly, I guess. But like, if you get the real picture, It's got to have something of you in it.
That is properly why this is difficult for me. I am order, no chaos. So I don't understand when chaos is brought in.
Oh, I thought you said balance. But that's okay. Like, music doesn't have to be your thing. I'm sure you'll find, like, the thing that, like, is your purpose, you know? Like your calling.
That is true. If balance, and they kind of pause, and then they look towards the Modron, towards the side to see what they say.
You look past Nazareth, who's still on your shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Nazareth is loving it in the greenhouse, by the way. Absolutely loving it. Hasn't left your shoulder, but like is very interested in the surroundings. But when you turn to face the Moldron, Nazareth is there, and she looks at you, and then she also turns to face the Moldron.
Oh, wow. Oh, she, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. And there's a conversation, I guess, that no one else can hear. I'm not sure how long that takes. Are you looking for a word, or are you wanting to discuss this out?
I think they're trying to understand how chaos could be infused as balance if we're about order. If they're created to represent order, then why do they not possess chaos? If they're about restoring balance.
Gosh, honestly, 2 sessions ago, I should have started thinking about what this voice would be.
No worries. We can always be like, come back to a conversation later, if you want to go later.
I mean, I have an answer for you. Actually, what I might do, because no one else is privy to this conversation, I might just DM it to you.
Oh, okay.
What the Moldron says to you. And then you can say what you say back, if you say it out loud or not.
All right, that works. Zoom or Discord?
Which one do you prefer? I assumed you prefer Discord, so I was starting there, but I can put it. Okay, yeah. Okay, 1 second. As they look at that, this woman is Stelly's kind of like looking at them, looking at nothing, and they kind of does like that, a very polite like shift to Yvain. Just like, so you're going to school? That's cool. What are you studying?
I decided yet. It's I just recently got accepted. I think maybe into some more, probably learning about some medicine. I find that my talents tend to lie there. Although I really do love history as well.
History and medicine?
It's history is my first love. It's something I enjoy reading about, but medicine I feel is helpful. In case anybody gets a bump or a scrape. We seem to find ourselves occasionally in need of it.
Wow. That's so interesting. Like, I spend all of my time around like musicians, you know, people who have a very specific kind of look at the world. Now we have Era Lauren, whose purpose is the safety of others. And then you're going back to school for history, but also medicine when it's needed. And Micah is very into balance.
We definitely are a varied bunch of individuals. Some of our friends are not here with us. They have other things to do, so they all have their motives as well.
So it sounds like, well, you probably see a lot more of the city at least than I do, or I guess you're not an elf. Maybe the world.
But only recently. I originally came from a very, very small town. So this is all new to me. Ardris has been very kind to show us around the city.
Did he take you to the creepery?
We did go there. I definitely recommend the berry one. It is very, very good.
I love the chocolate. It's kind of if I do really well in practice, I go get a chocolate crepe.
I'll have to try that one next.
Well, it was really nice talking to both of you, all of you. Sorry. I just wanted to say thanks for listening. And I think I've probably got more practicing to do if I'm going to become a performer of the caliber to go to House of Lauren.
I believe you will do wonderfully. We should probably also get going. I don't want it to be too late. We should probably meet up with the others.
Enjoy the rest of your day. And I believe we can make our way back now.
As you all begin to leave this area, Micah.
Yes.
Would you like to describe what that might have looked to other people? I'm not sure how much it might have looked like anything, but how does Micah kind of respond in this moment?
So after the conversation with their, I guess patron is not the right word, but benefactors, you start to see the jerkiness of their movements starts to shift from extremely jerky to a bit more calm and smooth. And then as their face kind of looks up, the eyes kind of return to a bit more of a humanistic aspect. And from there, they look up towards the group. It's just, oh, I did not expect that. Oh.
Are you all right?
Yes, that was beautiful. By the way.
It was.
Brother Greenhouse is good. Yes. Or the music.
The music. Can you before we go? Can you show me how to play?
You see that Stelly had started to kind of get back into, position with her bow and get ready to get in something. And as you speak, she turns, she's like, of course. Here, sit down for a second, and gestures over to a bench and brings the violin over to you and shows you the hollow interior and how the strings are taut, and lets you kind of with your finger pluck some of the strings and shows you when you press on it, the higher it goes, when you move further down the string, the higher the pitch goes. And then lets you hold the bow and kind of, it makes terrible scratchy sounds as you drag it across the strings. But she takes a full 10 minutes or until the rest of you say we got to go to just let you play around with it and look at how the sound is made. And then when you're finished touching it, she sits down next to you and begins to play next to you so you can see up close like what it looks like when the strings vibrate and where the sound comes from.
Thank you for this. I don't have my sketchbook anymore. So this feels nice.
Oh, you make art?
I used to draw.
But not anymore?
No.
Yeah. I've had a couple of days like that where I didn't want to do it anymore.
Well, maybe one day.
Maybe sometime you can come back by and I can play. And if you happen to have a piece of paper, we'll just see if anything comes from it.
I like that. Thank you.
I would like it too. It was nice to meet you, Mike.
Nice to meet you too. And then
she stands up and she like pulls herself up to like very proper posture for playing and goes into what sounds to your ears like a more complicated piece than the first one she was playing, as if you've inspired her to give it a little more work.
Yeah, for one of the first times, Micah has like a genuine smile, like looking back at her play before walking with Yvain and Ardris out. But they're like, you know how when kids are looking at someone doing like an event and their body, like they're walking one way, but their heads kind of turn around looking back. That's what Micah's doing with a smile.
And Nazareth, on your shoulder, you hear a quiet Luminari and just a soft glow as you begin to walk through the rest of the greenhouse to get back outside. We're going to jump from you guys from an excellent scene that absolutely surprised me. Mm-hmm. We're going to check in with Otis real quick. Otis, how's your tree time reading going?
Tell me, how would you like to decide that?
What are you reading? Let's start with that one.
Definitely the nature book Otis just got from the library.
Ah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. So you are flipping through your book. It's in Druidic, which just feels good. You know, it's so satisfying to see it written out. And you find yourself like you kind of flip through it to see what catches your interest first, kind of get an overview. And are you looking for anything in particular?
Otis would probably start with animals not on the continent. He's going for that which he would perceive as exotic first.
Okay. Cool. You find like it's one of those things where like there's so many options, it's really difficult to narrow it down, and you just end up kind of getting caught on one. Like it's like when you fall into a hole in Wikipedia and you just keep clicking links, and then you're like, I have no idea how I got to like the northern ibex from where I started, but here I am and I've got to know everything. So that's basically where you are. You're looking at these adorable, cute, sort of like they're in like the antelope family with these curly horns that come up and then split. Very, very, very tall. They move kind of like goats up the sides of mountains, and they're just super cool. And you get way deep into it, and you're just like, if I ever meet one of these, I know everything about them. You know what I mean?
Probably turn into one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say absolutely. I don't have a name for the weird thing that I just described, but I'll find a picture and I'll come up with a name and I'll say, you know enough about it, you can turn it into one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I think that, I mean, this is kind of your favorite terrain, if you know what I mean. Like, you're reading in Druidic. You're like, I got this.
Yeah, he'd be studying way easier, for sure. This is his home language, so to speak, the one he's most comfortable in, absolutely. But the thing is, Otis actually did want to do something Miri-centric, but he can break from that.
Let's call it a flashback next time, because I do want to let her roleplay that, because it's just too good and I can't do it justice. But so we'll put a pin in for it.
What time you want to fast forward to?
How long do you think you and Miri's thing might take?
Probably about as long as it took for the majority group to have their outing. About that length of time, yeah.
So you're probably like, it's probably about this time Miri's like, well, should we go find the others?
Yeah, I guess we do got to get back or whatever.
Yeah, I'm really curious about like what the Chancellor wants to say to us.
I guess we're going to find out now, ain't we?
Yeah, I guess.
As long as you don't tell me to protect nobody again. Otis pretty much uses survival skills to see if he can figure it out.
You rolled so very high on that one, and it's just like you permanently know how to get from the Hall of Mages to Argis's home and back. You can't necessarily get anywhere else in the city, but between those 2 points, you always know how to get there. So yeah, you know it.
I was like, oh, is that all I can get us back? And Otis will go ahead and lead Miri back.
All right, so you're heading back. I think the main group's heading back. Kellen?
I believe where you left us was Pyreus playing with trinkets, and I found a common to Elvish basic translation dictionary.
Yep. How much time do you want to spend in this place?
So we had 6 hours, right? How long did it take us to wander to there?
I mean, not very long. Well, let's call it like 30 minutes.
Okay, we've probably been there like 30 minutes so far?
Yeah, call it like an hour.
Probably like, I don't know, maybe like another 30 minutes before he would ask Pyrea, like, hey, do you want to go wander somewhere else and maybe talk about a couple of those things you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, sure. Before you guys get ready to go, the woman comes back and she's holding 6 silver pieces in her hand, and she holds it out to you.
He takes the 6 silver pieces, and then while her hand is still out, drops the 11 gold from earlier into it. And then smiles and takes Pyrea's hand to walk away.
No, please. I mean, she's not going to chase you out into the street, but you could tell that she was like not wanting that.
Why? I wish I knew why, but we're also dealing with the 17-year-old, so at this point he just thinks he's won and probably isn't going to worry about it too much. So yeah, I guess I just did.
I will say, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is only 11. My passive insight is 15, so that's a bit better.
Roll perception for me.
15.
As you're heading out, you go through that stupid beaded curtain, and you kind of like spare a glance over your shoulder, and you can see her pick out the book that you left that was written in human and take it back to read behind the little bar counter.
Is she like very familiar and comfortable doing that? Like, I'm just curious if I pick up on a general vibe of like, that's what she'll commonly do when someone brings a new book.
It's more of an insight than a perception. Go ahead and roll insight.
Roll it.
Well, I mean,
I feel like we're going more off of my passive. So, like, would a 15 get me any of that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, from what you understood from what she said, like, lots of people bring and take books. So I bet that's a feature of her cafe, right? Like, that people come and she gets a constantly revolving thing to read. Do you think that probably since she addressed you in Broken Human, she might be picking it up for the same reason you picked up a common to English translation book?
Yeah. So yeah, as they're walking out, like once they've gotten a safe distance away, wandering into the city, he'd be like, "Have you noticed that like Elvish people hate gold?"
I mean, now that you meant, like, I didn't, because like my only experience really has been when we spent. Was she there? Oh, was she there? I think she was. When you spent all the money at that one place, like, I remember that they liked money. But now that you mention it, no one's really asked me for money for anything around here.
Yeah, it's a bit odd, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if some handsome, dashing adventurer came and was looking to like leave me a little extra money, I'd be cool with it, you know?
Oh, you've seen one? Where?
Like if it was a guy. I'm not talking about like other girls. Anyway, so what did you want to talk about?
Oh.
Wait, also,
I feel like
you don't speak human?
Okay. No, like,
Where did you?
Do you speak Infernal?
No, but I speak, and then he's going to speak in deep speech, which I imagine is a very horrifying language to hear out loud.
She looks at you and like pouts at you a little bit because she doesn't have a clue what you're saying, and she just starts talking to you in Infernal, and it sounds like Infernal has like an angry kind of stride to it. You don't think she's particularly angry, but the words just kind of sound angry anyway.
Yeah, for the record, in case anyone like walking by us speaks deep speech, in order for them to be very confused, he's talking about like a number of cats jumping over the moon and having playtime with yarn, like just utter nonsense.
I mean, pipe me as half of this conversation where you're talking at each other in languages that you don't understand is just like her going on about like, why would I speak human? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why don't you ask me, why don't you speak, I don't know, whatever the birds speak? Like, you don't just, you're not born knowing, like, she just goes on forever about this while you're talking in deep speech.
But then something occurred to him during this process. So he's going to stop while they're like let the random languages die down. And he's going to say, I don't think I've ever asked you this. Where did you grow up?
Well, I mean,
Is that a bad question?
it's not a great question. I mean, like, it's not a secret or anything, but this has been an otherwise enjoyable afternoon, so
Maybe we add it to the list, like for later, like it's like number 20 or 21 or something.
No, my list will be letters instead of numbers. So we're on letter A for me, and we're on like 47 for you.
Something about this feels a bit inequitable, but okay.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's funny because I really mean it that I don't have secrets from you. Just stuff I haven't told you yet.
I don't think I really have secrets. And then Kellen's brain starts racking to like think like, am I lying here? I don't actually remember. It's hard to keep all of this straight, actually, sometimes.
She looks 1,000% incredulous for like about the first 10 seconds. And then she stops and is also kind of racking her brain. She's like, I think you've been as honest as you could be, generally speaking. Just not great at the communication half of it.
So I've sorted it out. I don't think that I keep secrets or that I lie, but I often say things that surprise you, which elicits a similar reaction.
They're surprising because you don't mention them until like way later, and you're like, oh yeah. And also, while this other really big, huge thing was happening, this other really big, huge thing was happening. And it's just kind of like one at a time would be easier, you know, and like closer to the actual event instead of like, I mean, I guess you can't help that. You can't like turn back time or something. You just got to tell me when you see me.
Kellen cannot help himself. He just heartily laughed.
She looks at you and like she starts to do this sarcastic laugh, but like she's happy seeing you happy, and it ends up being a very genuine laugh. And like as you're just kind of strolling, like it's a very nice little moment where both of you are just kind of laughing at it, despite the absurdities.
Okay. So, this isn't really like a secret.
Listening.
But I guess I've never mentioned it. I actually can turn back time. Just like a little bit.
Prove it.
Helen starts to think how to prove this because he doesn't actually have any experience with other people noticing the different reference frames. It seems to be only something thus far that has affected him and affected OK. So he's currently racking his brain for like, what is a proper method to prove this? Do you want me to roll anything to see if he can actually sort that out? Because I, Zach, do not really know.
Since you don't have an idea, yeah, let's go ahead and roll it out. We'll call it insight. We're gonna say insight into the situation.
Okay. It's not like, Arcana. You don't want me with my big old 12 bonus.
No, I so don't.
Okay.
I mean, I could call it persuasion if you want, but I feel like what you're asking is more insight. Like you're wanting to figure out the situation.
I'm definitely asking for insight. I just feel like you're going to push me into a situation where I end up spending inspiration for flirting. I don't know if I'm...
Welcome to my life.
Remind me that I have a story to tell you guys during break.
13?
13. Well, I guess what you kind of get out of that is like, what would prove it to you? If someone said, I can turn back time, what would prove it to you? And you're like, I would need to see it. And you're like, but no one can see it but me. So maybe you think about when you first saw Pyrea, when you entered the Hall of Mages and you had the time loop that you didn't control. And when it happened again, you were kind of just like mouthing along to the words because you weren't sure what to do.
I actually figured it out.
Nice.
I've got an idea, I guess, that I want to try.
Okay.
He kind of just like thinks for a bit. He's like, how would I prove? Oh, tell me something you would never tell me.
If I would never tell it to you, then I'm not going to tell it to you, right?
Or you've never told me, but there would be no way for me to ever know. Like, tell me about, I don't know, the moment you met Ayana or something, like what you were thinking.
I know what I'll tell you. I play the flute. Like, no one knows that. No one.
He uses chronal shift right after she says that.
Mm-hmm. So you go back 6 seconds and you're in the middle of talking about like, oh yeah, by the way, I can tell time. She's like, prove it.
You play the flute.
Okay, what? No. Okay, no, because I know I didn't tell you that I play the flute, and you just said that you can control time. What is going on? Kellen, I am losing my mind. I am absolutely losing my mind right now.
If it makes you feel better, I didn't read your mind. You told me. You just don't remember because it never really happened.
Oh, that's not helping, Kellen. You can't tell me that I have done things and it doesn't actually exist. Like, how can...
The thing is, people rarely act outside of their nature. So normally when that happens, I imagine that people probably just do the same thing that they were going to do in the couple of seconds. But now I'm actually a bit concerned because, I'm not really familiar with like what gods like oversee time, really. And I feel like if there are rules, I probably just broke one. But hey, you live and you learn, I guess, right?
Do you? I feel like you could tell me right now that, like, I'm not actually pink. And I would just have to say, I guess you're probably no better than me because you break the rules of the universe. And is anything actually real at all?
No, you're definitely pink, and it's very cute.
Thank you. I know. It's just the time. Okay, the time. So wait. Have you ever done this to me before?
Technically, yes. Accidentally.
How do you accidentally break time?
Well, so you remember that time when I saw you, like, right after we portaled here?
Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah.
And we were like, hey, and, like, we hugged, and then, like, I was, like, a little bit weird. And then you were like, why are you being weird? And then I was like, oh, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. It's just been a long day. It's cool, whatever. Like, I'm good. That was, like, the second time that we had been like, oh, yeah, oh, God, it's so good to see you. And I found out later that apparently when oh, no.
What did you do? What happened? Are there actual assassins? What's going on?
Apparently, when one of us does it, the other experiences the 6-second loop again. And I definitely didn't warn Strohan that I was going to do that. Oh no.
Like, oh no, or like, uh-oh? Like, where are we on the scale of bad right now?
It's gonna be okay. It's just, he's already kind of having a bad day, so he's probably gonna be even grumpier, honestly.
Why is he having a bad day?
He's very tired because, well, I guess he's very tired because, so, how I have this habit where, like, sometimes when I have a theory, I don't sleep as much as I should, or, like, ever?
No, that never happens.
Well, apparently I never grow out of it either, so that's cool.
All right. I will need some processing time for the fact that you just break time. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. You do believe me now, though, right?
I mean, the alternative I think is worse, so I'm going to just choose to believe you, yes, at this point.
Wait, what's the alternative?
I mean, well, there's two, right? And they're both really, really bad. Because one would be, you can't do it, and you're really messing with me, either for cruel intentions or because you think it's funny, and those are just terrible. Or two, you're literally insane, and all of the things we've talked about before, about like your whole paranoia and all of that, like you're just God's complexing it. Big time. So instead of those things, I'm going to choose to believe that my wonderful assassin boyfriend can also just, change time.
He's gonna point to the hourglass pommel on his dagger and say, "You've really never wondered about that?"
It's why, no, I haven't. Not every symbol's a symbol. I hate the people who are like, oh, in this book, the curtains were blue because, no, sometimes curtains are blue and sometimes daggers have hourglasses. It's just a thing, a motif or whatever.
Oh.
I don't know.
I have a B, actually, to add onto your, we were at A for you. I actually have a B, but I think we should talk about B now.
Okay.
I think it's going to be worse for me than it's going to be for you, so don't worry about it. So, we both know that Otis was in the wrong for, just busting up into our room, right?
For sure.
Right, so, yeah, he was definitely in the wrong, and, I super acknowledge that, and, that's cool and everything, but here's the problem. What's it going to take for me to convince you to apologize to him anyway?
For what?
Wait, can you turn back time?
No.
Oh, you don't. Kellen starts to get really uncomfortable, and he's like, "You don't remember the thing where you yelled at him and scared the shit out of him until he ran out of the room?"
I mean, okay, he got a little bit scared, but is that, you want me to apologize because he was scared?
I think he's very, very,
very scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't really trying to scare him or anything. I was just trying to get him to, knock and give us some space. You don't want people barging in and.
Right. And I think that works. I think he's going to give us space. The problem is I kind of like Otis, we've been through a lot together and stuff. And,
I like Otis.
I think he's going to give us a lot of space.
Too much
try
space.
To go to a different city space. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm worried about.
Oh man, I really didn't mean to I wasn't trying to scare him that much. I was just trying to get him to 2 steps back kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it works too well. So
yeah, I mean, of course. No, if I didn't, that wasn't my intention.
Okay, so it's not going to be too hard to convince you to maybe at least say you're sorry about going to a little bit too far or something.
I give it a nice dinner and a good walk. Is probably the price.
What time is it? How close are we to dinner? I guess I'm asking you, really, not her.
Yeah,
I have a innate sense of what time it is.
Dinner's at House of Lauren. And it is currently approximately 3-ish. So you've got 3 or so hours before then.
That feels a bit like cheating because I think that Argis is covering that one tonight.
Then I guess you'll have to do dinner tomorrow.
I mean, that seems very agreeable. Yeah.
All right.
And now,
Works for me.
and now we walk for a few hours.
And now we walk.
And I think I'm good here to fast forward a bit whenever you
Excellent. Excellent. If you don't mind, we're going to take just a quick break so I can get something to drink. And I think other people have some food and stuff. So take a quick break and then we'll wrap things up after that. So after the many excellent conversations we've had in the different areas we've seen around the city, each of the groups, they're making their way back to the house of the Alarm family. I'll say probably Kel and Pyrea end up arriving first just because they had a little bit more time to wander, and then followed by the main group. And I think that Otis will probably be the last one in with Miri. So Kellen and Pyrea arrive. You get through the gate, no problem. There's that big, gorgeous tree outside, and Pyrea kind of stands there and is like, I don't think anyone else is back yet. It kind of feels weird to go into Artris's house without him.
Oh, we can wait here. Then he'll put his arm around her and pull her closer. Whatever will we do?
Oh no, how could we possibly pass the time? All right, so y'all get some quality time together for a little bit before the main group. I keep calling you the main group. The larger group walks up. So
That's cool. I'm a side character. I get it. It's fine.
I am also a side character, if that makes you feel any better. I'm all the side characters. So Argis and Yvain and Micah walk up. And you can see Pyrea and Kellen are already there. You don't yet see Otis or Miri.
Yes, well, but you all have arrived on time. That is good. I suppose we could wait out here a bit longer if you want to. I don't see Otis or Miri yet, or we can go inside and don't.
I thought they were with you.
No, they decided to leave and to take care of their own goals, I suppose.
I kind of need to talk to Otis. I guess I'm already talking to Argis. I guess I should probably talk to all of you and say, I'm sorry if I scared you. No, hold on. That's not a very good apology. It was not my intention to scare anybody, but I recognize that actions have consequences, and I hope that you'll forgive me.
Of course. It's all right.
Talking about the time she made Otis run away screaming.
Oh.
Not screaming. Don't make it worse than it was.
She what? When it did? Never mind.
Am I misremembering? Was Argis actually not there?
Argis was not there. He had already gone downstairs. Yeah.
No,
that makes it. That definitely makes it better.
I think the only one that was there was Otis. I think everyone else actually left because Otis was the only one that had to stay behind.
Well, you saw Otis freak out, grab food in a hurry, and quickly leave the house.
Yeah, leave the house. Yeah, we would have saw that, but we didn't see the event take place.
Okay, so Kellen would be like he.
Yep. All right.
He would be like, yeah. There's a little bit of a disagreement about Otis's policy on knocking.
Oh, he said he does what he
wants. Yeah.
Yes, I've heard of this. I assume that eventually they will grow out of it. Is this not normal for you all?
I feel like you all is a really broad category, Argis. None of us have had remotely similar growing up experiences. Probably.
Right? I mean, I'm dead, so I can't say I know what to expect.
Well, kind of. I mean, it's more of like a sort of like an in-between thing, isn't it?
I think so.
But you're not dead, because like we're talking right now, right?
I don't really know. I don't know how it works really. I just know Yvain, when she looked at me, said it was a void.
That's a bit of an odd thing to say, but well, I'm glad you're here, buddy. And he'll ruffle Micah's hair again.
Thanks.
It's about the time that you say, "I'm glad you're here, buddy," that Otis and Mary make it to the gate. So you see everyone else is gathered not too far in front of you by that tree.
There they are.
You said right about that time.
You
Would Otis see anything prior to arriving to the gate with his 24 perception?
I mean, you would see them probably before they see you, just because you were like scanning the area.
What were they saying? Otis can read lips.
What you just heard, that's what you saw.
All he heard was glad you're here, kid, or saw.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, getting to the gate and Otis seeing who's there, Otis is definitely going to slow down and not really approach.
Mary's like, "Come on, Otis."
Otis slowly moves, and as he encroaches, you can tell Otis is very, very much so on the defensive.
You see Pyrea like takes like a deep breath. Just like, "Hey, Otis."
Otis looks at her and says nothing.
Kellen told me that I really did scare you, and I wanted to say sorry. I didn't actually want to scare you at all. I just wanted, like, I was kind of at my breaking point, and it's not an excuse. It's just like it was a bad time, and then you barged in, and I just kind of reacted, and I will do better in the future.
I ain't mad you ain't want me in your space. Just why you hit me with magic?
Well, it was just like we were kind of in the middle of something, and it was a lot of somethings actually that kind of just all were already overwhelming, and then when you burst in, like it was like I was either going to fight or I was going to like run. But still, like, you're right. I shouldn't have used magic on you, and I'm sorry.
That's the thing. Otis can't hide it well. Looking at Otis, you can tell Otis looks very conflicted.
You don't owe me like forgiveness or something. It's okay if you need more time, or if it's just like, no, you're not cool with it, or me, or whatever. That's okay. But like, I wanted, that like, yeah, I wanted you out of the room, and it was kind of a instinct thing, but it was still messed up, and I won't do it again.
Why should I trust you? And then Otis actually looks over at Argus, or you for that matter.
You see Pyrea's eyes go wide as she looks at Argus, and it's like, wait, is this a bigger problem than like she conceived of?
Oh,
Not sure what you are referring.
That would be an insert Miri moment there, because Miri would absolutely know what Otis is getting at.
Miri's gone.
I mean, I hate to do too much
Miri's-
for
No,
Miri.
it's true.
So I'm going to say Miri is doing a little bit of like, watching the ping pong ball, trying to figure out which side's going to score a point, like trying to figure out how the fallout's going to break. So she hasn't spoken up yet. But you will see Nazarath lifts up off of Micah's shoulder and comes and rests on yours.
Well, Otis is definitely going to have a telepathic conversation then.
Do it.
Like, what's going on? Why everybody trying to apologize to me or whatever?
Apologize, whatever.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, they all coming to me talking about they sorry or something. But their Drogon also said that people apologize for themselves and not for the other person sometimes. So I don't know. She could just be doing it for Kellen.
You could ask.
I could, but I just said he don't care about what I say.
You could ask Pyrea.
Yeah, Otis will, in fact, ask Pyrea with that little bit of dialogue. You sure you ain't apologizing for you or Kellen? You look like you don't want to do it.
Roll insight.
Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Now of all times, let me see.
Natural
20.
1. Natural 1.
That is a total of 12. Otis rolled a 3.
You look at Pyrea and you see on her face not only genuine like regret, but like shame. And also there's like this kinship when she sees you're struggling with it, like she understands it better than you might have expected.
Ooh, all that with a 12? Okay.
Yep.
Otis is waiting for a response.
Well, I mean, if Kellen hadn't brought up that I scared you, then I probably wouldn't be apologizing because I didn't realize how much I'd messed up. And like, yeah, of course, Kellen's important to me, and I want to make sure that like the people he cares about are okay because like he's important to me. But also, like, I like you, Otis, and it was a bad call in a moment, and not what I want like our friendship to be like. Like, even if Kellen one day like goes and gets turned into stone or whatever, like
That would never happen.
some of y'all would still be friends with me. Like, just me.
Can Otis kind of sleight of hand message Kellen with his ring of message, or attempt to do it subtly?
She's looking straight at you. I don't think there's a way to do that unless you have like subtle spell. I would let you like pull some sorcery stuff if you had that, but I don't think you have a mechanism.
Otis ain't got no home trade. He don't care about being caught that much. Especially at a time like
just
this.
give me the bro look. Like, we'll just convey through just our eyes, like,
He ain't being like, Otis is not being subtle. That's the thing about it. This is the kid with the -1 charisma. Social cues not his thing so much. So Otis will just straight up point at Kellen and be like, "This means a lot to you, doesn't it?"
With message, I can technically reply back, right?
Yes, correct.
But I actually have to speak to do so.
You have to whisper it.
So he just whispers back, yes. As quietly as he can.
I mean, apology accepted or whatever. Okay, Paria? Okay?
I mean, you don't, it's important to me that you know you don't gotta. You don't have to accept the apology. It's okay if you just say, hey, that was messed up and I don't accept it.
You're just out here doing stuff I ain't never experienced before. It's like the opposite of what I can do.
Sometimes you get thrown together with people who do weird stuff that you've never seen before. And it's really messed up. And you feel like everyone else is reading a book that you can't, you don't even understand that there was a book. And you're behind on everything. And then you just learn to mimic other people until it makes sense. Right? That's what happened for me.
Otis with his high insight would actually understand what she's getting at. So Otis will slowly nod. And then Otis will go like, okay, it's gonna be weird, take me a while to trust you again, but I'll work on it for whatever for Kellen. Cause every time you two is together, both of y'all doing stuff I ain't seen before. Kellen gets back first thing and y'all here yelling at a bunch of students. Kellen ain't never done that till he been with you.
I also want to give you a gift to say thank you, if that's all right, Otis.
What gift? What you talking about?
What gift?
He pulls out like a small coin, just one of the silver coins that he got from the woman. And he says, tell me what you do, Otis. And he holds up the coin.
I do it or what?
And he will activate magical tinkering to cause the coin, whenever tapped, to be Otis's voice saying, I do what I want. And then he will hand the coin out, extend his hand with it, and tap it to show that when you push it, it literally goes, I do what I want.
Otis grins. They definitely have a bro grin. Otis is giving Kellen that bro grin. He happily takes it.
That way, if your voice gets tired, you can still tell people what's up.
Otis nods, and then you see Otis just out of the corner of his eye, glancing at Ardris. And then you see him slowly sober up from his grin. And then he's like, okay, meeting or whatever. And I gotta get my plan. And you can tell by Otis's body language, he's really trying to avoid Ardris if possible.
Sure. You do see your plant in a nice, a well-chosen spot for the amount of sunlight this plant needs area. Not near the house. It's more near the gate. But you do see it there, and it looks to be fine.
Otis is going to talk to it, of course.
All right. Before we get to that, we're going to wrap this up by heading into the house, just so I can tell you who you see, and then we'll have the big old meeting next time. So as all of you head into the house, I think Ardris probably leads the way, and I imagine that Otis and maybe Micah are a little bit further back.
Taking this plant with him.
As you enter, at the dining room table, you see quite a few number of people. You see Chancellor Rosani and Vilheim. You see your mother, Lady Alarin. You see your father, Lord Alarin. And then there are 3 other figures at the table. These are 3 people you have never met before, but each of you, except Yvain, knows their names. You see Empress Merlara Goldbane, and Alanis and Edith Coldbait, who are sitting on the far end of the table. And we will pick up how that meeting goes next session.
Ooh, here we go. Here we go. I hope you all enjoyed this session. It's been incredible. Just a fantastic roleplay episode. Just so much character development. We're seeing our fantastic magical kids grow just a little bit. Just a little bit. The next episode is the season finale. So I hope you join us to be able to see how this season concludes as we transition over to season 3. Again, if you like what you see here, make sure to join our Discord, what you see in the description section below. We would love to hear your thoughts about the campaign. And we'll see you back for next week for our next episode of Rivenwood Academy. But until then, farewell for now.